So next at 7, we will celebrate our community in Oakland with this right here.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Deep in my heart, I do believe.
What a treat for us this morning. The Oakland Interfaith Gospel Choir performing live. We are going to chat with the directors of this award-winning group on how music brings us all together.
I do believe. All right, we will be back with that as we look at our Bay Area bounce back coverage in Oakland.
CBS News Bay Area. This is the Morning Edition.
Woo! It is Friday.
Thank you so much for joining us on this Friday, September 1st.
I'm loving the energy, Nicole. Let's get started.
Remembering a beloved figure, our community comes together after the tragic death of a corner store worker in San Francisco.
Just thank God nobody died.
A long road to recovery. We're tracking the aftermath of Adalia as people start to pick up the pieces.
So it's really important to get the first responders there.
A Marin mom is using a dark moment in her life to try and help save lives.
The security lines itself are very long.
Are you heading out for Labor Day weekend? The last getaway of the summer is now underway.
Hey to all of you, I'm Nicole Zalumis. We are singing, we are dancing into this holiday weekend.
You are the juice I needed in my day. Thank you for that. I'm Reed Cowan, everybody. Hi.
I'm Gianna Franco. Literally, that happy Friday made my day, Nicole. So
I love when the camera whips around us. That just gets us going on a Friday.
It does.
That's right.
Why don't we whip things around to weather, Jessica Bird?
Nicole, can you come over here and do that same intro for me? I need that energy over here. It has been a crazy weather week for us, widespread throughout the Bay Area. Think about it. I mean, 2 days ago, we were talking about so much heat off into the East Bay, triple digits. Can we complement that with the fact that we also had AQI yesterday, that it was just terrible. I mean, hazy skies yesterday for us. It's nice to see that air quality slowly start to improve. Down in the the Santa Clara Valley, we're still dealing in that moderate category right now for our AQI. I'll have more on why that's happening in just a bit, but let's take a look at our headlines this morning. It's starting to improve. We're also starting to see a lot more clouds in the forecast. We're seeing a splash of showers along the coast, and to add to that, cooler temperatures as we head into this afternoon. This is a live look of what should be from the Salesforce Tower cam. You can't see anything because that dense cloud layer is still holding on tight to San Francisco. We're going to continue to see clouds along the coast in the Bay today. Upper 60s in store for us this afternoon, just in those areas. But in our inland East Bay, the North Bay, and the Santa Clara Valley, we're all in the low 70s today. I'll take that any day of the week compared to those triple digits we had just 2 days ago. And over to the Golden Gate Bridge we go, where current temperatures, if you're heading south into San Francisco, we're sitting in the upper 50s, lower 60s pretty much everywhere else. We're off to a mild start this morning. We already know what we're expecting into this afternoon. Here's our current air quality check real fast. We're starting to see a lot of improvement up in the North Bay. That onshore flow really bringing in some fresh Pacific air down into the Santa Clara Valley. I'll continue to keep a close eye on you guys heading into this afternoon. For now, over to you, G.
All right, just thank you. Yes, everyone looking for that weather this weekend. All right, a major closure on I-80. We've been talking about this all morning. Will impact thousands of drivers between Sacramento and the Bay Area this holiday weekend. It started last night. Westbound 80 is closed from 780 in Vallejo to State Route Highway 4 in Hercules. That includes the Carquinez Bridge, and it will stay closed for the entire Labor Day weekend as Caltrans paves miles of concrete and makes repairs on that westbound side of the roadway. And we are already seeing a lot of traffic in and around that area because of that closure. The westbound commute is a commute direction. I would say it's Friday light on most of our freeways with the exception of this area. Unfortunately, there is a pretty significant backup because of that. So think about using the alternates. Even though they're busy, they're open. So 780, 680 really backed up this morning, as is Highway 4 trying to get around that closure. Those are your best bets, though. You can even commute down 680 all the way to Highway 24, but we do have a pretty serious crash on 24 right around Highway 13, which is making that route over into the city or towards the Bay Bridge, really backed up almost to Lafayette at this point. So definitely pack your patience this morning. On a scale of 1 to 5, you're probably sitting at about a 3, and that's only going to get worse, especially later on when a lot of people hit the roadways for that travel. Speaking of, you can expect extra traffic in the skies this holiday weekend. There will be a lot of people on the roadways as well. And today our bounce back coverage turns to the Oakland International Airport. All week, we've showcased innovators challenging dune loop headlines in the East Bay City, from a family creating an oasis in a food desert to volunteers stepping up for safer streets in Chinatown. So today, we are at the Oakland Airport for what is going to be a very big Labor Day travel rush. Airport officials expect more than 210,000 travelers to pass through its terminals over the long holiday weekend. That's nearly 88% of pre-pandemic air traffic levels. And one of the busiest travel days at the airport is going to be today. That's why airport officials are urging people to expect delays and be prepared as you head out the door. So Sean Chitnis is ready to go at Oakland Airport this morning, which is packed with people. Sean, how are things looking? We've kind of seen some long lines and then a bit of a dip, and now I see more people.
Yeah, Gianna, exactly. We are seeing things moving here. What better day to showcase how important this airport is, not only to Oakland, but to the East Bay. Let's take a look at what's happening with security right now. Not much of a line at this moment. Things are moving, as we are saying. And so I think that morning rush and those early first flights that brought in a lot of people have cleared. And so if you are catching a flight later today, you have a pretty picture to look at, right? Which is no serious line at the moment. Take a look, though, at what it was like when we first arrived just after 5 a.m. and before 6. The line was crazy. It was going well past TSA, going into baggage claim, and at one point it was actually going outside of the building. So you would drop off your bags, have to exit the terminal, and then stand in that line before you could then get back into the terminal. This is Terminal 2 where we are right now, so that you can make it to security. And we talked to some of the people in the line. They showed up a full 3 hours before their flight. One man was planning to go to Las Vegas, super excited to reconnect with some friends after a year of planning, and he felt good seeing such a long line. His initial reaction was wow, but he says it's a great reminder of what this airport does for the community.
People who would prefer to come to Oakland and leave instead of crossing the bay and going into San Francisco or going down to San Jose, it's exciting to see that, you know, there's enough economic stability in Oakland for people to do this on holidays and go out and travel and things like that. So I think it says a lot.
And so again, the line's looking a lot better right now, but of course with this expected to be the busiest day of the holiday weekend, you are going to want to give yourself some extra time. For the most part, flights on time. Looking at the board earlier this morning, we did see a couple of delays, but mostly green. So a great start to this holiday weekend here at the Oakland Airport. Guys, back to you.
Sean, that's what people like to hear, a great start with not a lot of delays. Thank you so much. We'll see you in just a little bit. So Oakland International is going to be very busy. SFO, San Jose, there's a lot of ways to travel from around here, but they say 3 hours in advance international. Don't worry, Nicole. I know Nicole looks at me like, what? Locally, just about 2 hours. She's heading out of town. Yeah. No, but I mean, be prepared. The later in the day, the more chances you have delays happening.
Yeah, and I just think, does it have a Cinnabon? That's all I want to know. Right?
Or
what's the food?
Wait, what do you mean right? No, not right.
No,
Coffee?
not right.
I need to go to the airport.
Coffee, water, and a toothpick. All right.
Cinnabon will just slow me down. The time now, 7:07. Next, we chat with San Francisco's top firefighter on campus fire safety, as many of our kids are back at school. Plus,
I can't imagine myself without John.
Our community coming together for the family of a husband and father beaten to death inside his San Francisco store. Pain on our streets and a call for safety when we come back. Plus this.
Clap your hands, all ye people. Shout unto God with the voice of triumph. Clap your hands.
That is the Oakland Interfaith Gospel Choir, and they are bringing us so much joy this morning. You sound wonderful. Thank you for being here. We have more of them coming up, and their beautiful voices uniting our community.
Love it.
Unto God with the voice
This is the chief. Remember, it's captain.
Captain.
Yes.
Why are you here?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Captain,
5,
captain,
4,
captain.
3, 2, 1.
And a happy Friday morning to you. There's a live look outside. A little bit of fog. Feels a little bit like fall right now, even though we're still in summer.
I know, look at that, the little fog, just a little bit of fog over the bridge there. College is well underway for many students, and as they begin an exciting new chapter in their home away from home, it's important for both kids and their parents, of course, to keep safety top of mind. September also marks the start of Campus Fire Safety Month, and what better way to prepare than with San Francisco Fire Department Captain Jonathan Baxter. Thank you for being here. I have a child in college, and she's getting ready to go back in a couple of weeks, and honestly, this is not something I think about a lot. I just want her to be safe while she's there, but you got some good info.
Going away from home to school is a fun event, right? But we want it to be fun and safe. San Francisco is so fortunate. We have so many amazing, safe campuses, University of Pacific, UCSF, USF, City College, Academy of the Art. I mean, the list goes on. We can spend the entire morning talking about the colleges here in San Francisco. What's unique about all of them is they're safe. San Francisco is a beautiful city. Our department is privileged and honored to be able to go to these schools and enhance their safety with school campus safety programs, including how to make sure that your room is safe, how to make sure that you know that you have an escape plan, knowing what to do when the smoke alarms or the fire alarms go off in your actual room, and other things that we just don't want to think about. What happens if there's an intruder in my school?
Right.
What happens if I become overcome by some substance, whether it's alcohol or an illicit item? These are the things that your child, if you're going to college, you should start discussing with your friends and your peers and your counselors.
Well, top of mind, the video that we saw out of North Carolina just days ago, kids jumping out of the windows during a violent event on campus. And so we're grateful you're out there teaching our students to be safe. You wouldn't think that we're here where we need to talk about these things, but we are, and it's really about the conversations we have with our young people.
Absolutely. Having that conversation is the key point. We don't want to have it. It's kind of scary, but it's necessary. And if you're a parent and you're concerned about having that conversation, fire departments and police department across the nation are your public servants. We're here for you. Call them up. Tell them that you need the help with the conversation and have the conversation. It could help save a life, including the life of your own child.
My 5-year-old daughter just came home and said, if there's a fire, I go to the mailbox. And I said, where did you get this information? And it's wonderful people like you that are teaching them young. Is there a marker or a place that you tell college students to go to?
You bring up a very good point. It's called the reunification location, and we ask for people to come up with 2 locations. One location that is close to where you are at school, so that you know all your friends and your family know that if there's a disaster, if there's an emergency, you're going to go to this location and you're going to wait to be notified. Because remember, cell phones might not be working, so you want a physical location. And if it's a larger scale disaster, you want something that's maybe in the next county or even farther. That's your secondary location to actually meet at. And have the conversation with your friends, especially your family, so that they understand how long you'll be at this point and how long you'll be at that point if you have to move to the second location.
I mean, that can make the biggest difference. And, you know, fingers crossed, everything goes smoothly for kids when they're off at college. But you got to be careful, especially parents, send them off with all the right things that they need to know. Captain Jonathan Baxter, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, as always, for having us.
I don't know what we're talking about. My kids aren't going anywhere. They're going to just stay with me.
I know, right?
No, seriously, we're grateful. And don't burn your dorm room down, kiddos. Jess was a very good one in college. She didn't cause any trouble. There was no problems with Jess.
You didn't know me in college, right? I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. I really couldn't do too much being in an ROTC program. Let's take a quick look at our current air quality, widespread throughout the Bay Area. 24 hours ago, we were all seeing red, showing unhealthy conditions. Today, it's starting to improve a lot. We have that Pacific air moving in. We see wind gusts anywhere up to around 20 miles per hour into this afternoon. Here's what it's looking at just around 2:30. Widespread, like I said, 20-mile-per-hour wind gust at max. It's the same trend into dinner time tonight. Now, here's something interesting. It was just only 2 days ago we were talking about triple digits off the East Bay, 90s in the forecast for us in the Santa Clara Valley. But today, we're all hand in hand. Low 70s off into the Santa Clara Valley, the Tri-Valley, even up into Concord and Walnut Creek. We're even seeing 70s up in the North Bay today with upper 60s near San Francisco, all the way down into Daly City. That's putting us all below average, whether we like it or not. It's nice and cool for us heading into this afternoon. Daytime highs today, they're going to stay nice and mild with a dense cloud setup thanks to low pressure moving in just from offshore. That's the big reason why we saw just a splash of showers this morning for areas like Pacifica, all along our coastline. We're going to continue to see drier conditions into the rest of this weekend as that system moves out, and sunnier skies are expected for us just in time for Labor Day. So cool and mild, that's how we're kicking off this weekend. But then by the end of this weekend, we're starting to see sunny skies and warm temperatures, especially in areas like Millbrae, where Saturday and Sunday actually in downtown, if you're planning on heading out to that the Art and Wine Festival, it's going to be gorgeous. Nice and mild, 70s in the forecast for us. Speaking of 70s, that's the case widespread throughout the inland East Bay until around Monday. That's when we start warming up. High pressure will build its way in. We're going to see sunnier skies around the corner. Mild temperatures into next week, too, and it's going to be nice and great for us as we kick off that school setup, too. Low 70s expected in San Francisco. We're going to keep you updated on your forecast here in the Bay Area, and we'll keep you updated with Hurricane Idalia and the leftovers of it as well. Now over to you.
All right, thank you, Jess. Right now in Florida, cleanup efforts are underway after Idalia ripped through the southeast. It's a tough reality for residents as they return to empty lots and businesses that are just completely wiped out. Check out the scene from Horseshoe Beach. Entire streets are still underwater. People are navigating through piles of rubble and wet walkways. It's not a safe environment, as some of these areas are clogged with fallen trees and downed power lines. The physical aftermath is just overwhelming. A lot of residents and business owners are traumatized in the aftermath of Idalia's record flooding.
The actual stuff that was in there, money, it won't be rebuilt.
Some of the residents have lost their homes, people have lost their businesses, their livelihood. We need a little bit of help.
During a visit to FEMA yesterday, President Joe Biden said he is planning on traveling to Florida this Saturday.
The people of Florida and throughout the Southeast, I'm here to make clear that our nation has your back.
Idalia is now a post-tropical cyclone. It's currently churning out in the Atlantic Ocean, and the storm is expected to run through Bermuda this weekend. Reed.
Well, a few weeks ago, unless you live near the Richmond Market in San Francisco, you likely wouldn't have known this name, Ioannis Tewaldi, right? Well, this morning, after the husband, father, and business owner was beaten to death inside his own store by a robber, not only do you know his name, but also his neighbors. We're getting to know them, and we hear you as you call for justice and change. Your community station were there on the scene during this very difficult moment. This is a family in pain. And difficult conversations outside that store. This time at Tewaldi's store at 41st and Balboa, neighbors and family gathering together, supporting each other in an emotional vigil. And our Andrea Nakano was there.
Tears flowed as family members of Ioannis Tewaldi arrived for a vigil to remember his life.
I don't know how to explain, but he's like my father. He's like my everything. All the story was telling, like he's so kind.
Neighbors, friends, customers stood in front of the store one by one, sharing their memories of a man they knew as John. How he greeted everyone with a smile and made connections with everyone that walked in the store, even with the youngest customers.
I'd always just say hi, you know? And sometimes he would make me laugh, sometimes I would just, and every day it would just be really fun to be here. And ever since that ever happened, I've felt broken.
A night filled with songs, prayers, and tears. People came by with flowers, gifts, and heartfelt messages for a beloved store clerk violently killed as he tried to stop a thief.
I can't imagine myself without John. I'm so sorry.
It was around 9:30 last Thursday when a thief came in to steal water. John was going to let him go until he tried to walk out with beer. 60-year-old John Tawaldi was attacked with the bat he used to fight him off.
We are heartbroken by the untimely death of Johannes. Johannes will be remembered in our hearts.
Family members say he was a loving father who often worked 7 days a week to support his family. They can't even begin to explain how his death has left an immense void in their lives. And this corner of the Richmond district shares in their loss.
And I know, again, I'm not the only one who feels this grief, and I just wanted to share my opinion on it.
Not the only one who feels that, the grief and also the need for change. Mr. Tawaldi's attacker is still out there somewhere this morning, so justice is delayed. And you saw that. People who live there in the outer Richmond say this is just the latest tragic example of why we need more help by way of more police patrols. Listen to this.
I was born and raised here, and I can't remember a time when something this violent occurred, and it's shaken everyone up. Yes, and I live with an elderly mother, and she doesn't feel safe walking in this neighborhood either, and she's been here, more than 30 years.
It's one of our neighbors, Drew, there talking about his sense of safety or lack thereof. Meanwhile, Supervisor Connie Chan joining in that call, that cry really, for more police patrols where this happened. We as a news organization are pushing for answers to your questions and your calls for solutions. This morning, when we asked police for an update on this case, whether the person had been caught, police were able to tell us they have no update yet. Gianna?
Well, Reed police in Emeryville have spent the week hunting down the key players in last Sunday's massive fight at Emeryville's Bay Street Mall. You saw the video here. It was a stabbing, bullets fired. Now we have an update from police who say they've identified a person of interest. Investigators say this unknown young woman may have been involved in the stabbing, but have not said to what extent. Police say the victim is a teenager, rushed to the hospital, who will survive. Well, we've got a preview this morning of our Bay Area bounce back coverage as we look to spend the week in San Jose starting on Monday. So we report this morning San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan's work to stop a community problem, sideshows. He's drilling down on the online component, people who promote the illegal shows online. So here's your headline: do it and you'll be fined. And the mayor is taking it a step further, calling on social media platforms to shut down the sideshow promotion posts when they hit the internet. Another issue in San Jose that we'll be looking at next week is housing. And this morning, there's a roadblock to building more homes in San Jose. State regulators have rejected the city's proposal to add more than 60,000 new homes. Now, critics say it's a decision that could hurt San Jose down the line. Now, this surprised applicants who are trying to make good on an order to produce a plan to build a certain number of homes over the next 8 years. But the regulator rejection letter cited a technicality. Apparently, San Jose didn't provide enough time or opportunity for public input on the plan. So now leaders have a challenge. No acceptable plan with all the boxes checked and hoops jumped through, and San Jose could lose affordable housing and transportation funding from the state. Still ahead.
I also feel that he maybe is helping me.
A mother on a mission in Marin. Your community station showing a Bay Area bridge builder there this morning, turning pain into purpose and hoping to save young lives with Narcan education. Meet her next and get the uplift we all need.
Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. When Jesus walked.
Coming up, music uniting our communities. Oh, happy day indeed.
All right, welcome back. It is 7:26. If you are getting ready to head out the door on this busy day, it is the Labor Day travel rush officially underway. Let's get a look at those roadways right now. And Golden Gate Bridge, we got a little fog over the span here, but doesn't look too bad. Might be a little murky in some spots, but it's kind of the calm before the storm, as with that Labor Day travel weekend, a lot of people will be out and about, especially after 1 o'clock today is when we really start seeing that rush on the freeways for everyone trying to take advantage of that last summer getaway. So something that will certainly slow you down, though. You can see all these delays here on our map along 780, 680, even Highway 4, and that's because those are the alternate roadways to that closure that's happening right now on westbound 80 from Vallejo all the way down towards Highway 4. Jess.
All right, we have coastal drizzle in the forecast for us. We have some dense clouds and those splashes of showers. We can potentially even see them off into the East Bay heading into this afternoon. Now, late hours tonight, it's not going to accumulate too much, just about 1/100 of an inch, if anything. But these dense clouds are going to hold on tight for our coast today, where we're sitting in the 60s heading into this afternoon for our daytime highs. 70s down into the Santa Clara Valley. Here's something interesting. Just 2 days ago, we were talking about triple digits off into the East Bay. Yesterday, we were dealing with those hazy skies, but today, the air quality's improved. Temperatures have dropped. Now we're suddenly seeing low 70s, even off in areas like Pittsburgh, all the way over into Walnut Creek, too. Here we go back along the coast. Upper 60s expected for us this afternoon from San Francisco over into Sausalito. It's beautiful. It's cool. It's a great way to kick off the holiday weekend.
All right, thanks so much, Jess. Keep watching Monday through Friday. We start every morning right here on CBS at 5 a.m. We're head over to Pix Plus, cable channel 12 next.